All right, Mike, let's talk about roster management because I feel like every coach is going about it a little bit differently. For this year, it doesn't feel like you went all in on transfers all over the place. You've got a lot of new faces, but you're a younger team. What was the rationale in building this roster?
I think part of what everybody has to do is figure out how they believe they can build some sort of stability and consistency within their program. And for us, I've always felt it's really, really important that you try to still have some guys that you can develop over some time. And we made a decision last year that we were still going to be aggressive recruiting high school kids and guys we felt like could see a future through our program. We've had experience doing this before. We had Thomas Azagua and Cam McGriff from Lindy Waters recently. We lost Avery Anderson and Caleb Boone, but they were here for 4 years. And so we know that our staff is good at helping guys become really good players at this level over time. But we wanted to also find some balance because we also know to compete, right, at this level, you got to have some guys who've been through some battles before. And so we signed our 5 high school kids back in the fall of last year. Felt really good about that class, but then we were able to complement it with some guys like Jarius Hicklin, who's a fifth-year senior grad transfer from North Florida, Mike Marsh, who's a fifth-year senior grad transfer from Jacksonville, Javon Small, who's a third-year guy transferred from East Carolina, to give us some guys who have played enough college basketball that we know we could throw them out there on day one and that they're going to be able to help us have success at this level of college basketball.
When you're going into that portal, what are you looking for in terms of a fit?
Yeah, so it just really depends on what we need. And one of the things that we really were keen on is we really wanted to upgrade our point guard play in terms of facilitating. One of the areas that we've been really, really good at is we've been really good defensively. We've been one of the best defensive teams in the country the last several years, but it hasn't been matched by being efficient on the offensive end. Been a high turnover team, been a very average shooting team at best. Some would say poor. And one of the things we thought was a really good point guard can make those things much better immediately. And you look at a guy like Javon Small, who had 100 assists in 18 games. He's the type of guy that can do that for you.
Big 12 is brutal every year. Now you add Houston, among others. So in the non-conference, you got to be judicious and selective about where you go. Going to the New York area with the Legends Classic, you've got St. Bonaventure out of the A10, Auburn of the SEC, Notre Dame out of the ACC. How did you sort of navigate, okay, why this would be the right one for you guys, and also the fact that Oklahoma State's had a pretty good history of coming into the New York area?
Yeah, being from there has always been important to me for our program to have some visibility in that area. We've, for the most part, played well. Had a really good run a few years back in the preseason NIT. We actually played at Texas A&M my first year after playing a couple games at home in Pittsburgh up there. So we're going to recruit there selectively, but scheduling is all about balance. As you know, our schedule in the conference is going to be so every single night, right? A hard battle. You know, you're going to play a top 50 team at worst for 2.5 months. And so how do you find a way to build some confidence in your group early by playing the right number of home games against the right level of competition, going on the road to test yourself, which is something that we've done every year. We've played at the College of Charleston. We've played at Oakland. We've played at Oral Roberts. This year we're going to Southern Illinois. And then we're obviously going to play our neutral site games at the Barclays. So we're excited about the balance in our schedule. We play Creighton at home, who's going to be a top 10 team. Really, really good. So we think it gives us the right kind of balance between good home games so that our fans can get excited about what we're building, but also challenging this group who's still very new to each other to go on a road and come together and find a way to have success away from here.
Appreciate it, Mike. We'll look forward to watching the Cowboys this season.
Thank you very much.